Jamb must repeat this question. E no get juju wey dem wan use. UTME candidate 2026, burn all your textbook because I too know book. You have everything here. I too know book. I too know book. My head is just so heavy. I have to remove them. I have to give them out. I have to teach. I have to impact them. I too know book. The moment I break this down and you still fail this question in your Jamb UTME because you are definitely going to see this question in your Jamb UTME, just know you have either home, away, or village problems. Or I might not just be the perfect person to solve your problems. Now, get your pen and your paper to write down anything you hear while taking this lecture, because you are about to have a life-changing experience at this point in time. So get your pen and your paper, get set, listen to me, and let's destroy this Jamb question that you are going to see in your Jamb UTME 2026. The question reads, when the human body is exposed to cold condition, the skin helps to conserve heat by which mechanism? A. Sweat gland produce more sweat. B. Blood vessels in the skin dilates. C. Blood vessels in the skin constrict. D. Shivering stops. Jamb 2026 candidates, what's the answer? Let's find that out. The big question here is, how does the skin regulate body temperature? That's what we have to understand, because the skin regulates body temperature, but we have to know how the skin regulates body temperature. For us to know what is going to occur when the temperature of the environment is high or when the temperature of the environment is low, we have to understand the cascade of how the skin controls the body temperature. The first mechanism at which the skin controls the body temperature is called vasodilation. And what does vasodilation mean? During vasodilation, heat is lost. Heat is lost during vasodilation. That's the fact. Once you hear vasodilation, it means that what? Heat is lost. This vasodilation you are seeing here is a very easy word. Very, very easy word. Let me break it down for you. This vaso, V-A-S-O, means it's relating to the vein or the blood vessels, okay? The veins or the blood vessels. Let's just say the blood vessels, particularly the arteries, okay? The arteries. That's, for this lecture, the arteries, for this lecture. So this word here you are seeing, this dilation you are seeing here is what? Opening. Just take it as opening. Opening or free, losing, opening, widening. Okay, you can call it either widening, you can call it opening, or you can call it losing. Okay, so when you now say vasodilation, it means the blood vessels open up, or the blood vessels widen, or the blood vessels losing. And when the blood vessel, you know, the blood vessel is a vessel carrying blood. When the blood vessel that was supposed to be like this, I mean the lumen that was supposed to be like this, now turns to this, what happens? More blood flows through it. So now let's understand what happens during this vasodilation. It occurs when the body is hot. So when the body temperature, the internal temperature of the body system is hot, is higher than normal, is above normal, vasodilation occurs and more blood flows to what? The skin. Remember what I just told you that vasodilation is, okay? Is the what? The widening of the blood vessel, the loosening of the blood vessel. So the second statement here is the blood vessel in the skin widen, which is what? Dilates, like I explained, increasing what? Blood flow to the surface. So when the blood vessel of the skin dilates, when something is now wider, more blood can now pass through it now because it's wider. So more blood passes through it and goes to the skin. Remember, the skin controls the body temperature. That's why more blood is flowing towards the skin, for the skin to do something that we are going to learn right now. When more blood flows to the skin, this allows more heat to escape through radiation, conduction, and convection. So if you understand physics, for you to be doing this biology now, you are also a physics student. So you should understand the methods of heat transfer in physics. Radiation is the method of heat transfer whereby a material medium is usually not required. Okay, so it does not need to pass through any medium. Okay, so it can just go through air, just be going like that. That's radiation. Conduction is the method of heat transfer which occurs due to the successive collision of molecules. Okay, when cold molecule and hot molecule collide, heat is transferred. Okay, so a hot molecule collides with a cold molecule, heat is transferred, or energy is transferred from the hot molecule to the cold molecule. Okay, so they collide and transfer heat to one another. Okay, so this one transfer could give this one transfer heat give this one. So it's going to bring about balance. The collision continues to occur until an equilibrium is stricken between the cold and the hot molecule. That's conduction. Okay, so conduction. Then convection, this method of heat transfer is the method of heat transfer whereby convection currents, okay, there's a current called convection current, lead to the transfer of heat through two mediums, upward and downward movement of molecules, through upward and downward movement of molecules. So these are the mechanisms whereby the skin removes or allows heat to escape from the body. So when more blood flows to the skin is an advanced organ that helps in heat conservation and heat loss too. So heat escapes, and as more blood flows to the skin, heat escapes from the skin through sweating. So the last statement here reads, sweating often occurs simultaneously to enhance cooling. So how does the skin now remove this heat from the body? It removes the heat from the body by allowing sweat to escape. Okay, remember successive collision of molecule. When cold molecule and hot molecule collide, the in-turn molecule that you get is a balanced molecule between cold and hot. That's what you get. That's how the heat escapes through water, which is sweat. Okay, so the skin also excretes salt through sweat, not just heat, not just water, but excretes salt through sweating. This whole process of vasodilation and vasoconstriction is controlled by the part of the brain called the hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus detects when the temperature is high and when the temperature of the body is low, okay, above normal or below normal. Okay, and you know the normal temperature of the body. The normal temperature of the body is within 36.5 to 37.5. That's the normal temperature of the body. I want you to note something very important about vasodilation. Vasodilation, which is VD, is a negative feedback mechanism controlled by the hypothalamus, like I said before. You know what a negative feedback mechanism is in biology? It's a mechanism at which an autonomous response. You don't need anything. All you need is just a trigger, and the response is autonomous. When it's high, this portion of the body system picks up to what compensates for it, to bring it down or to bring it, strike a balance. So when it's low, the part of the body that is involved in regulating that particular process strikes that balance to elevate it. So that's negative feedback mechanism for you. It's an autonomous or an automatic response by the body system to stimulus. So when there is an imbalance in the system, any part of the system, the part of the brain involved, or the endocrine system, or any part of the brain involved in that particular process automatically sends signal to balance up that imbalance. For example, on a hot day, cheeks may appear red as blood flows to the skin surface. So on a hot day, when the weather is hot, you can notice that, especially those who are light skin, you can notice that their skin, their facial skin, the one you have, the skin of your cheek, okay, you notice that they are reddish, which shows you that more blood flow is receiving more blood flow to help regulate the body temperature, because the temperature of the surrounding is high and it's also going to affect the ambient temperature of the human body. It's going to be above normal. So the blood vessels in the skin dilate to allow more blood to flow to the skin so that more heat can be lost from the blood into the surroundings. And how does the skin shoot out those heats? The skin shoots out those heats by allowing sweating, okay, through sweat, okay, through water, excreting water through sweat. That's how the skin removes those heat from the body. Now let's look at vasoconstriction. The second mechanism at which the skin controls the body temperature is through the vasoconstriction. And what is vasoconstriction? Vasoconstriction easily allows heat conservation. It helps the body to store more heat for the body's catabolic processes, okay? So for more catabolic processes to be able to occur, to maintain the body normal temperature, heat is conserved. So when the temperature of the environment is very, very cold, the body tends to conserve that heat, okay? And we are going to talk about, because there are different parts of the body involved in heat conservation. You have the digestive system, you have the endocrine system, you have the skin. You have various systems that are involved in controlling the body temperature when the temperature of the surrounding is very, very cold. The first statement we have here is it occurs when the body is cold. And what is vasoconstriction? Like I said before, vaso means what? Blood vessels. Constriction is what? Tighten. Okay, that's constriction. Tighten or narrow. Something that was like this, it now turns like this, preventing more blood or more fluid to pass through it. Okay, so that's vasoconstriction. So the second statement here reads, blood vessels in the skin narrow. That's constricts. Okay, it constricts when the weather is cold. The body wants to absorb more heat, okay, through this vasoconstriction. That's when vasoconstriction usually occur, when the temperature of the environment is very, very low, okay, very, very low. The blood vessels in the skin constricts as a result of adaptive response to the temperature of the surrounding, or to the low temperature of the surrounding, reducing the blood flow to the surface of the skin. So when more blood flows to the surface of the skin excretes more heat into the environment. So, and this body, we don't want to lose more heat because the temperature of the body is low and we have to conserve more heat, so that this negative feedback mechanism, this automatic process of temperature maintenance has to be kept constant. The skin has to adapt to the surrounding and constrict its blood vessels so that more blood will not flow to the skin and excrete more heat. The third statement here reads, less heat is lost from the skin, helping to retain core body temperature. So the temperature of the body has to be maintained, the normal temperature. It has to be within the normal, 36.5 to 37.5. So shivering, the next statement reads, shivering may accompany this to generate heat through muscle activity. Like I said before, conservation and loss of heat is not only done by the skin. It's not only the skin that is involved in the conservation and loss of heat in the body system. The control of the body's temperature is not only facilitated by the skin. Okay, there are other systems that also controls or also play an important role in controlling the body temperature, such as the digestive system. Okay, the digestive system also play an important role during heat conservation and temperature maintenance. So shivering happens as a result of the activities of the muscle, catabolism, digestion. More digestion occurs, more energy is converted. You know the law of thermodynamics. When sugar is breaking down, heat is formed. So the body is taking advantage of that law of thermodynamics so that heat can be produced to help, okay, increase the body temperature that is falling due to the low temperature of the environment. So when the activities of the muscles increase, the muscles begins to spasm. Okay? So you notice that the muscle begins to what? To cramp. The activities of the muscle increases. Okay, the muscle, you notice a kind of spasm in the muscle. So that's what leads to shivering. And that shivering is involuntary. You can't control it. It's your body's automatic response to the low temperature of the body system or the low temperature of the surrounding. That's how the body naturally regulates the body temperature. I want you to note something very important about vasoconstriction. Vasoconstriction, VC, is also a negative feedback mechanism controlled by the hypothalamus. Like I said before, for vasodilation. Both vasodilation, vasoconstriction, both of them are also controlled by the hypothalamus, and they are negative feedback mechanisms. For example, in cold weather, fingers and toes may appear pale due to reduced blood flow. So, due to the reduced blood flow as a result of the cold environment, the body is trying to conserve the body's temperature. So you have vasoconstriction. The blood vessels in the skin or the surface of the skin constrict, preventing more blood to flow to the skin surface. So less blood can only flow to the skin. So you are not going to have this pinkish appearance on your palm again. It's going to appear pale as if there's no blood in your palm. It's not because you don't have blood, but it's because of your body's response to the low temperature of the environment. It's affecting the normality of the body temperature. So a quick summary of this lecture says vasodilation leads to heat loss. So when vasodilation occurs, it leads to heat loss and it prevents the body from overheating. Okay, when the temperature is too high, the body overheats. It affects the hemodynamics, it affects the organs, because the body is supposed to work at certain temperature. You know, the body works with enzymes, the body works with hormones. There are particular temperature whereby those enzymes and hormones works at their peak. So when that temperature is not maintained adequately, the system tends to crash. Okay, problem enters the system and eventually it leads to what? Total system shutdown and death. So vasoconstriction means the tightening of blood vessel or the narrowing of blood vessel, and it leads to what? Conservation of heat. Heat is conserved to prevent what? Hypothermia, which is low core body temperature. Okay, when your body temperature is lower than normal, that's what is known as hypothermia. Now let's go back to the Jamb must repeat question. In the Jamb must repeat question, the question reads: when the human body is exposed to cold condition, the skin helps to conserve heat by which mechanism? A. Sweat gland produces more sweat is obviously not the answer. Remember, the human body is exposed to cold condition, that the surrounding is cold. And when the surrounding is cold, the human body tries to conserve heat and tries to prevent heat loss. Okay, it's conserving heat and it's trying to prevent heat loss. And what occurs when the body tries to prevent heat loss? Sweat gland produces more sweat. Remember, the skin shoots out heat from the body through sweating. So when we are trying to conserve heat, the temperature of the surrounding is cold. We need more heat so that the body's temperature will not fall below normal. Will the skin be sweating then? No, the skin will not be sweating then. So this option is wrong. Option B is obviously wrong. Blood vessels in the skin dilates. Remember, when the blood vessels in the skin dilates, that's the blood vessels in the skin opens up or widens. What happens? More blood flows to the skin. And when more blood flows to the skin, more heat is lost through sweating. And we don't want to lose heat to the surrounding, making this option wrong. Let's look at the next option. Option D is obviously wrong. Shivering stops. Remember, shivering occurs as the body responds to low temperature. So when the temperature is low, muscular activity or digestive or catabolic activities are increased in the body so as to make more heat following the law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics states that when a substance is burnt, it releases some part of the energy as heat energy. So some part of the energy is given off as heat. So this is what the body system is taking advantage of to conserve more heat and to produce more heat. So when it burns this sugar, glucose, in the muscles, heat is what? Evolved, and the body take advantage of that heat to what? To automatically regulate this temperature as a result of low temperature of the environment or the surrounding. So shivering should occur when the temperature is low because the body is trying to make more heat. So shivering should occur. So shivering is not supposed to stop, making this option wrong. For your correct option, option C, which is blood vessels in the skin constricts. Remember, we don't want the skin to lose more heat to the surrounding. The blood vessels has to be constricted. It has to narrow so that less blood will flow to the surface of the skin. Congratulations on earning your free mark in Jamb UTME 2026, your biology. So this free mark is secure because you are definitely going to see this question in your Jamb UTME 2026. Do well to appreciate me in the comment section and also share this video to your friends and family. I will see you in the next class.